Most welcome. Thank you for joining and have yourself a wonderful wherever you are time of the day. This is your call to understand the True Protocol. If you have considered to make a subscription purchase to the True Protocol, it is $6, only $6 with a donation welcome when you click the link, which is found of course in the bottom of this video here. Today I go over the True Protocol again, and most of my videos would always introduce the True Protocol. What is the True Protocol? It's basically a framework that is developed by myself in conjunction with Moses to ensure that we have a very clear way going forward when we consume that which we need to consume, so to help the body. The protocol focuses, of course, as you see, it reads from the left to the right. Number 3 comes before number 1, and then number 1 is in the middle, number 2 is on the right hand side. I think that's how it is on your screen also. So the sources of nutrition comes first. That is what we have to focus on, is amino acids, fatty acids, essential minerals, and vitamin. This is based upon Moses' rule, and first means evening, and evening and the morning was the first day. So first means evening. We start with the evening. So in the evening we are looking for sources of amino acids, sources of fatty acids, sources of essential vitamins and trace minerals. Generally, what we would say if we are following Moses based on Exodus, we would say we are looking for flesh or meat. We are looking to consume meat and meat alone in the evening. Of course, there are some persons who are on a plant-based diet or other types of diet. You would have to go and look for the substrates, whether it is a composition of good plants or plants that are heavy in amino acids, fermented, so you could get the amino acids like the tofu, which is the fermented soy, the tempeh. If that is your choice, that is your choice. Nobody's advising you on that. But if you choose that, remember that's just the amino acids. You have to also say to yourself, where are the fatty acids? And again, not fats, not the oleic acid only in olive oil or the 3 or 4 acids in coconut oil. Where are the whole constitutional fatty acids? Of course, we could argue that fatty acids should fall into the EPA, DHA, omega-3. We have to get all of them. It does not matter. So if the supplements become your friend for fatty acids, you look at fatty acids. If you're on a plant-based diet, for example, the C15, you look at the omega-3, omega-6s, supplementing right amount, right quantities. And of course, you look for your trace and vitamins that comes from meat. So when I see vitamins here or vital minerals, look at those that would normally come from an egg, those that would come from a liver, like copper, B12. Eggs would have selenium. Look for those to ensure you get them. There are many others, but think about what comes from meat. So if you are not on a meat-based diet, that is meat like beef, ruminant animals, goat, lamb, eggs, poultry, turkey being better than chicken, but turkey, chicken, what we have, fish, lots of fish. If you don't have these sources and you are following Moses' rules for True Protocol, you eat what you have, but you try to supplement with what would be from that. I would have had a video explaining why the A, D, E, and K vitamins, which are the fat-soluble vitamins, the ones found in meat, are important for the functioning of the ribosomes, which is number 3, the evening function. In the middle here, we have the body, which we will speak about lastly, and then on the right side, we have stimulation. Stimulation is the daytime focus, which is the mitochondria enhanced focus, your activity life, your energy producing focus. That is where persons who would have read the Exodus chapter would understand Moses was given this instruction that the body could actually utilize glucose molecules, which is aka plants, bird, very quickly in the day, because this glucose is one of the main substrates that we find that goes to the mitochondria. So the pink side here is the daytime. You are focusing on mitochondria. Therefore, giving mitochondria its source of fuel to make ATP becomes important. Of course, there are other sources of fuel that the mitochondria could have. So that's why if you decide to go on a ketogenic diet and you eat, only fatty foods and eggs, the fatty foods and eggs become, or the fats becomes, or the ketone bodies become the source into the mitochondria to make the same ATP. The goal is to make ATP. 2, 3, 4, 5 different things could go to the mitochondria to make ATP. It's just that glucose seems to be the fastest, easiest one to go to the mitochondria and get consumed quickly to make ATP as compared to the others, while the others are more clean and pure, but they might be more expensive on your pocket if you are living that lifestyle. So if you are following this here, in the day, in the morning, of course, plants, whatever you're eating with plants, it doesn't mean you would avoid, if you have eggs and meat in the day, you could also eat that. But just note that in the day, your focus is on mitochondria. So it just might go that you might eat eggs in the day, and the amino acid that comes from the eggs may go to your liver, and if there isn't enough glucose in the day based on your activity level, the liver may convert that good amino acid into glucose. That is what it simply means when you eat a lot of eggs mixed with your bread and so forth and so on. But it also means that the fatty acids could also be a little bit going to provide energy. We don't really know about all this. There is some Randall cycle that deals with that. That is not my business. My business is, if you are focusing the day on the mitochondria, you would then understand. If you are a plant-based eater, plants are going to be your friends here for energy. But why are you making all this energy? You have to think about that. So everything that is happening is a stimulation on the body. In fact, glucose is stimulating the mitochondria to make energy. That's what glucose is doing. It's also stimulating very much a lot of different hormonal things. Insulin being one, but there's a lot of stimulation or down regulation because of glucose. And plants should be in its whole form, because remember, they are the water soluble vitamins that has to be provided with the glucose to stop the ROS, or to handle the ROS that comes from the mitochondria. These are the vitamin C. We call them antioxidant. Like, if there are some specific things, vitamin C is the main antioxidant that comes with plants. It helps with the mitochondria. When the mitochondria has all those ROSs that comes from it, reactive oxygen species, it is vitamin C that helps to tame it down. Some of these water soluble bees also tame down vitamin C based upon the reactions and the chemical exchanges of electrons, etc., etc. I don't know all the science. However, in the day, if you go stimulating your body, whatever you do, whether you exercise, whether you had a conversation, whether you hike, whether you went to work, you are always stimulating your body with activities here. I have some samples. So when you buy this, you print this out, you would be having a very clear idea on number 2. That is what you're doing in the day. You are basically stimulating your body, number 1. When number 1 gets stimulated and it goes now into a state of rest, and rest does not mean sleep all the time. Just think about the bodybuilder. He's active when he's pushing his muscles and pumping his iron, but when he comes to a state of rest, then he is in a state where mitochondrial activity might start. So you may have to start thinking, oh, so when I come to a state of rest, that's where number 3 becomes important, and that's the evening, according to Moses. So if we go to the regular circadian rhythm, we start here in the morning. We start to activate ourselves. We do whatever exercise, we do whatever jobs, we do whatever we're doing with ourselves. Just don't be sedated by watching the TVs and too much. You do some activities, whether it's argue with your friends or play or whatever. We are doing activities. These activities stimulate the body as the moment when the body calms down. So that could be in the evening. That is when the body starts saying, we would need amino acids, fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals. When we say the body, we are speaking about the ribosomes. Now, at this point in time, the ribosomes do not really know anything yet. The stimulation leaves a message that gets stored in the cells that got stimulated, the cells in the different organs, and they hold that message in the substrate of the DNA, epigenetics here. It gets stored as a message, and that message in the night when you fall asleep, when you get into deeper rest, that message is what translates now to the ribosomes and say, make this protein to heal that part of his body he got stimulated, or make this protein which is going to become a hormone, or support the creation of a hormone somewhere down the line to keep that experience and to make him feel better. That is what is happening in the night in the ribosomes. Now the ribosomes being those nice little creatures, those nice little organelles, to make the protein from amino acids cannot make amino acids. They need amino acids like spools of thread on a sewing machine. Ribosome is the sewing machine. The spool of thread is the amino acid. If they need 12, 13, 14, 15 different colors, they cannot manufacture it from the they just can't manufacture it from magic. You have to supply that, and that is why it's important to understand the Moses protocol. The Moses rule, it says, have your meat by itself in the evening, because the meat will digest in the acidic stomach around 4 hours. That's why we say try to eat 4 hours before you go to bed on a meat-based stomach. You eat 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed, your stomach acidity digests it and it creates these various elements from the meats, the bones, the eggs, and you have that in your stomach. No plants, because plants would generally degrade the acidity of the stomach because it's a high carbohydrates or high glucose load that is in the stomach. It will just make the stomach acidity go down, and with slower stomach acid, well, I have to be careful with stomach acidity above 3, you don't get to digest your meats properly, and you don't get to extract minerals properly, and you don't get to have amino acids later down the road properly. So you may soak your body with acid, or soak your stomach. Your pH of your stomach should be about 1 or 2, soaking this piece of meat or eggs or fish or whatever has amino acids for that length of time, and then it starts simply moving it out gradually through the lower pyloric splinter down into the small intestine for absorption of these key nutrients here. Having a copy of this is very important, and coming back to my channel, listening to this story helps you to critically analyze what we are doing. Thank you for viewing this video. In the next video, I look at the Moses Protocol.